Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another Jets episode on the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. It is, I don't even know. I wish it was Victory Tuesday. Unfortunately, it is not. This is our quote unquote rapid reaction. Usually we do it right after the game. Unfortunately, I was at Jet Life Stadium last night. It took me forever to get back home. But we're not able to record. So here we are Tuesday night. Maybe a little bit better, Greg. Maybe a little bit better to kind of have 24 hours here to digest yesterday. Finally, a primetime game where there was no actual disaster. I feel like we kind of had the no injury thing.
Yep.
Kind of went under the radar. So I'm glad about that. It was really cool that there was not many of the away fans around. There were some a little rowdy even though there were not many of them, they're also rowdy. It's kind of weird, like little chihuahuas, like they're small, but they have to just bark a lot. Like a couple get kicked out, weird fights. Just like, dude, you're a Chargers fan, just chill out.
If they kind of have to be, though, there's not a lot of them.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's because how frustrated the Jets fan base was, and we were loud. We were there early. Parking lot really wasn't. The tailgates are so different from primetime games. I just don't think we're used to it. We need the 8 a.m. Sunday parking lot. We're just used to the 1 o'clock games. I don't know. It's just a weird vibe. It's also weird that it's just dark everywhere. I don't know. I'm really a fan of the 1 o'clock Sundays. Give me back the Sunday 1 o'clocks. I was really excited about the primetime stuff. I'm glad that it's coming to an end here. But of course, Greg, we have another Sunday night coming. But let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. We all know why we're here. Depending on how you look at it, Greg, the sky is either completely falling, it's over, the Jet season is over because Zach Wilson is our quarterback. And yes, he absolutely sucked last week. Like that's all everyone wants to hear from me. Zach Wilson sucked. And Greg, I was getting texts about you. I don't want to hear Greg tell me he's believed in Zach since day one. Like, I get it. Zach absolutely sucked this week. I would say the number one factor for that is he actually turned over the ball, which was what we were giving him credit for. What do you fumble 3 times? You can't fumble 3 times, and we lost it twice. You can't do it. And then we had Garrett Wilson who fumbled. Like we just can't do that. So of course we have the special teams, the punt return touchdown, not great. But let's just stick with Zach Wilson for a second. Turnover is not great. Penalties, awful. Absolutely egregious penalties. Right tackle, we know was terrible. You don't have to hear it from me. I'm just some guy. I never played offensive line. I never played organized football. I get it. Bart Scott today going off about how Billy Turner, the worst offensive lineman he's ever seen. Doesn't understand why he's out there. Greg, what I don't understand, I've been saying it all week. Nobody gave me an answer. If last week in an emergency situation, we had Billy Turner as the right guard and Max Mitchell as the right tackle, and it went okay. Like, okay. Why then this week did we switch that up? And it was clearly way worse. It makes no sense, right? Tittman did fantastic at center, but the drops, Greg. I mean, I have not rewatched this game yet. I did watch the highlights. I do want to watch the game because some things just don't make sense to me when I'm in the stadium, right? And I don't really have time for validation. Your phones don't work at MetLife Stadium. Something that doesn't make any freaking sense to me, Greg. This your phone from the second you get into the parking lot to the second you leave just does not work. You can't send a text out. You can't send a tweet out. You can't even get your tickets. Like if your Ticketmaster tickets are not in your wallet before you get to the stadium, like you're not getting in. Like you have to do this weird thing with the barcode. I don't know. So for example, how did Derwin James stay in? How was that in bounds with that fumble? I actually don't understand. Like some things just don't make sense to me. How did CJ Uzomah drop the ball? How did Lazard drop the ball every play? How did Lazard get a penalty every play? Like they weren't even showing the replay of the penalties. So we kind of just didn't know what was going on. They were kind of just like trying to like move past it in the stadium. Dude, I am so frustrated by this week's game. I'm glad again I had 24 hours to digest it because at the stadium, very, very frustrated with the turnovers every time we're moving the ball because we're moving the ball, right? It's so easy it's so easy to be at the Giants game and just be like, yo, we suck. We can't do anything. We cannot get a first down. Of course, we cannot convert third downs. I think we're the
Again.
worst third down team since the 1970s, Greg. Like now it's
Yeah.
become a real issue. Like now it's a disease. It used to be like, haha. And then it was like, okay, maybe this is just like a little bit like, it'll correct itself. Now it's like, no, this is like a disease that we have. Like, we cannot convert on third downs. We're like 22%, which is the worst since the 1970s. That's insane. Like, it's an actual issue with our team. And if it's not the quarterback throwing interceptions, it's the quarterback fumbling. If it's not the quarterback fumbling, it's the wide receivers getting drops. If it's not the wide receivers getting drops, it's a penalty. Like, if it's not that, it's the offensive line leaking through on the right. We have so many issues on the offensive side of the ball. And it's so sad, Greg. It's so sad because our defense is unbelievable. Like, if you didn't watch the game and you just looked at the box score and, like, you have people on, like, X/Twitter, whatever, Facebook, social media, everybody mad this morning, pull it right up. Justin Herbert, worse stats than Zach Wilson. You just look at the box score because of how unreal our defense is. We had some issues on our defense, some things that frustrate me. CJ Mosley, a couple of missed tackles. Michael Clemens, Greg, listen, I love his personality. I'm starting to get sick of him. I'm starting to get sick of Michael Clemens. Like, we had to fight with him. We had to fight to kind of get him active, right? He was getting inactive in the beginning. I think it's time to not have him active next week. Like, it's time. First, you get a penalty that almost kills us the game. We kind of forget about it, and now you don't pick up the ball. Like, I don't understand. Like, first of all, dude, you're a defensive end, and the ball's right there, and Justin Herbert is right there. Like, how many defensive ends in this league that are supposed to be like the same, like, I don't know, made of the same material as Michael Clemens would just forget the ball and just dive straight at Justin Herbert? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just like give me a helmet on Justin Herbert, like, and as if I'm going for the ball, and Justin Herbert recovers that. All right, like those are the frustrating things for me. But the Jets played well on defense. This team is 4-4. I'm not done with Zach Wilson. I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of the third downs. I'm so sick of Alan Lazard. I'm so sick of CJ Uzama. I'm so sick of our right tackle situation. I am. I honestly am. I'm so sick of special teams punts controlling every game. Whether we win or lose, it's every game now, Greg. Every game we either win or lose by a freaking punt. It's driving me nuts. So that's my little rant here. I had to get it off my chest. I'm really happy I didn't go off last night. There were so many emotions going on last night. You're just so frustrated. You feel like the season's over. But then you look at the standings, Greg. Like, we're right there. Like, the entire AFC East lost. You already know that listening to this. The entire AFC East lost. So it's not a big deal. Yes, it sucks for the AFC wild card, but we're only one game out and everybody's virtually tied. Like, it's fine. Like, we're alive. It sucks for the tiebreaker, but guess what? We still play the Texans. Like, we still play the Browns. Like, there's time to figure out some tiebreakers here. We just gotta win the Vegas game next week, and then all of a sudden, Greg, it's wow. Jets are 5-4, above 500, staring at Bills and Dolphins. You know what I mean? We could be up in the division on a winning streak, but at some point, Greg, we have to lose games, right? We were on a 3-game winning streak. We're not gonna go 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. Like, it's just not gonna happen. We suck on offense. We suck. We are literally so bad on offense. I get it. I don't know how to fix it at this point in the season. We'll talk about all the blame, but yo, Greg, your perspective. What was the stadium like on TV? Like, what was I know Aikman was going off, but like, what were the vibes?
Yeah.
Everybody keeps telling me it was boring. It didn't feel boring to me. Like, I'm being honest. Like, I wasn't bored at all in that game. So I guess that's maybe the feeling of being at the game. But what did Zach look like on TV? What did those penalties look like? What did those drops, turnovers look like? Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm a Zach Wilson truther, defender, whatever you want to call it. Like, he's playing with the worst offensive line in the NFL. He's getting absolutely zero help from his wide receivers and tight ends dropping the ball. And he's not playing well. I mean, you can't do that. We went into the game talking about it. It's going to come down to special teams and turnovers every time. And he didn't throw any interceptions, but he put 3 balls on the ground. You can't do that. Lost 2 of them, to your point. the Garrett Wilson, when you talked about it, they didn't really talk about it on TV either. They're like, oh, yeah, the Chargers recovered it. It's like, how? When? Like, where was possession established in bounds before he went out of bounds?
There was no point where his foot wasn't out of bounds. There was not 1 second of Derwin James where his foot wasn't out of bounds.
And that's why I said in the group chat, I was like, we have to challenge. You have to challenge it. Like, it's too early in the game to like let that momentum slide. And then I just need an explanation from someone, because when someone catches the ball, like it happened to Tyreek Hill in the Germany game, like he caught the ball and then fumbled it immediately. They're like, well, he didn't have possession. It was
3 steps.
Yeah,
you need to take 2 steps and make a football
move. Where's that on this play? Like, where did Derwin James get possession? Where did Derwin James make a football move? Like, how did he have possession of the football? And when he was never in bounds when he touched the football, it doesn't make any sense. So, that drove me crazy. Again, not challenging it. The biggest thing for the TV is, the Troy Aikman sucked. Listening to him all night. But dude, every time they show Robert Saleh, he's just looks like he'd rather be anywhere in the world but on the sideline coaching the Jets. And I know that's not the case, and I know that's just a product of the situation, because when things are going well and Quincy Williams is out there, making big plays, he's out there celebrating. Jermaine Johnson, the same thing. But dude, when the offense is out there, he's just looks like he just can't believe what's happening. And I think we all agree with him that we can't believe what's happening. Like, he got stumped today on the Michael Kay show. They're asking him like, oh, why don't you go to Trevor Siemian? And he was just like, yeah, like, maybe we do go to Trevor Siemian. Like, maybe we do go to Boyle. Like, who knows? Because
to clarify a little bit there, he did stumble a little bit. He did say he make decisions about it's more about the global or totality of it. I think he used the word global, which was weird. And he was kind of stumbling on his words. He kind of meant, if you bench him now, it's over. You can't put him back in. So, like, you really got to squeeze the full lemon out, right? Like, you got to make sure that all the juice is squeezed out of this lemon, because as soon as you bench Zach Wilson, you can't put him back in. So, if Trevor Siemian goes in, gets hurt, it's over. Like, the season is over, because then Tim Boyle's in. Like, you can't put Zach in. It's exactly like what happened last year. He's lived through it, where even though he's benched, he has to go to third. He's not coming back in. It's like, it's weird.
Yeah, what concerns me a little bit, to point, I think Jake Asman or someone else tweeted it out today, and it kind of, I think, he makes a good point about how, 2 years ago was Zach Wilson got hurt and someone else came in and played well and made the offense look competent. And last year, Zach Wilson got benched, or same thing, he got hurt, or vice versa. I might be getting the years mixed up. And then, Mike White or Joe Flacco came in and made the offense look competent. And it's like, well, what's going on where these guys can come in and make the offense look competent, but Zach Wilson can't, like, on a week in and week out basis? I don't know. If I knew how Josh Dobbs was able to win an NFL game without knowing any of the plays or any of the receivers or any of the things, and he was able to beat the Falcons and make a 14-point comeback, I'd be coaching in the NFL. I don't know how this whole thing works, but to see that happen consistently year in, year out, where someone else comes in and the offense looks a little bit more alive, a little bit more put together, I'm not sure if they're just not scared about tomorrow because they're a backup QB, they're a third string guy in the NFL. So it's like, well, dude, I just have to go here and throw the ball around, and whatever happens, happens. Like, I don't know why Badgett comes in for whoever it is in Chicago. Yeah, Justin Fields, and throws 4 touchdowns and goes nuts. Like, I don't know how that happens. I don't know why, but it seems to happen with the Jets backup QBs, and it's getting annoying.
All right, so before we read a little bit more about this game, I kind of want to go a little bit of a tangent here, and it is to kind of talk about how much Zach Wilson sucks right now. And it's kind of a conversation going on in one of my group chats. Who would you not take over Zach Wilson, right? Because that's a smaller list. Like, okay. So let me just throw out a couple names at you real quick. You just mentioned some. I'm just off the top of my head here. Like, would you take Will Levis over Zach Wilson?
No.
Honestly, it's close for me. Josh Dobbs?
No.
That one really stumped me, man. Josh Dobbs wins football games by himself.
When he played 8 games to start the season for the Arizona Cardinals. Where are the wins? What are the wins people are talking about? That's what. Where are these 300 yards, Josh Dobbs, and 3 touchdown games people are talking about? That's what I don't get. He comes in and makes like magic happens. Something unbelievable happens, and they're just like, let's just get Josh Dobbs instead of Zach Wilson. Like, why? How? He was on Arizona all season. Where are these magical plays everyone's talking about? Where's the Josh Dobbs? Where's the fuck it Josh Dobbs highlight tape on Twitter with the music? Where is it? Because it doesn't exist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you taking? Like,
I'm looking right now for the wins. They doesn't have many.
Yeah, there's one for this week with Creed because it's cool and it's awesome and everything, but it's one game.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking through.
Will Levis is one game.
All right. Justin Fields?
No.
I agree with that. Tannehill?
No.
Derek Carr?
No.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
No.
Mac Jones?
No.
Aiden O'Connell?
Maybe because he's a rookie.
All right. Well, Will Levis is a rookie. You don't care.
But O'Connell's done it like 3 or 4 times. Like, he's played pretty well, I think, in 4 games now.
Yeah.
Like, Will Levis done it once.
Twice.
Yeah.
All right. That I kind of agree with most of that. So, okay. Ritter?
No.
Heineke?
Nope.
Heineke was a little close for me, but I would take Zach at the end of the day. This one was a big one for me. Sam Howell.
Yes, I would take Sam Howell.
Yeah, me too. I was like, Sam Howell was one. They stumped me on Josh Dobbs. I think I got fooled. I saw some wins too. Now I'm looking. I don't see many wins.
He's been in Arizona all season, John, for 8 weeks. Where's all the hype? Where's all the highlights?
Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah, I see. Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
not many wins. Okay.
Yeah, like, dude, like,
okay.
Yeah, like they got one sneaky one against Dallas, and that's it.
Killed a lot of survivor leagues. Okay, so that kind of transitions back into what you were saying for me. So we're talking about Coach Saul. So that's where the blame goes.
If I'm wrong on the Jets QB stuff and Zach Wilson, you take us. Let us know. Leave a comment on the YouTube. Let us know on Twitter, Knicks, Jets, etc. Let us know what you guys think, because I just don't see what other people are seeing, and maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, and it kind of transitions into this where everybody blames the quarterback first, and then the excuses would say the offensive line, the penalties, the drops, which just so happens that was the exact perfect trifecta of what happened in this game. But generally, those would be the excuses, right? And then
if Aaron Rodgers throws that ball to CJ Uzomah, he's not catching it. Like, that's not a QB problem. That's a CJ Uzomah dropping a ball that hit him in his chest in the end zone problem. Like,
yeah, I mean, Gary Wilson, like he has the ball. Like, he
like,
it doesn't matter.
Like, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It could be
Aaron
Tom
Rodgers,
Brady on a perfect season.
Aaron Rodgers
CJ Uzomah's going to drop the ball. It's CJ Uzomah's problem, not Zach Wilson, not the offensive line. Like, you have to catch the football when it hits you in the numbers.
And Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a gunner on special teams. And speaking of, we do need Justin Hardy back, our special teams captain. He's been out for a long time. Nobody talks about that. Nobody cares until we give up a punt return. So you'll go back to it. So people complain. Starts at the quarterback, then it goes head coach. You said something about Saleh and how he looks on the sideline. Then it goes straight to Hackett, right? Because Hackett, the last time we saw him do well was with Aaron Rodgers, goes to Denver, doesn't have Aaron Rodgers, sucks with the Wilson, comes here, loses Rodgers, sucks with the Wilson again, right? Yep. So it's easy to go to the coaches, and we suck. We suck on third down. Who else are you going to look to? If you're not looking to the offensive coordinator and the quarterback for the offense that sucks, who are you going to look at, bro? Like, that's it.
Also, too, I agree with you 100%, but I could have the same conversations with people trying to bury Nathaniel Hackett. Give me an offensive coordinator you'd rather have than Nathaniel Hackett. It's the same thing as the quarterback. Well, who's a good offensive coordinator in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want Matt Nagy from the Chiefs right now.
Yeah, like, what are we doing? Yeah. Like, no, it's Patrick Mahomes. That's Andy Reid. It's not Matt Nagy. Like,
oh, they suck though. They suck with Matt Nagy. I feel like they missed.
They won a Super Bowl with Matt Nagy last year, right?
I'm just saying this season it's looking weird without Bieniemy.
Yeah. Oh, was Bieniemy there last season?
Yeah, Bieniemy was there.
Yeah, maybe Nagy was just like the QB. QB
yeah, he was on staff. He wasn't the OC. No, this is the first year without him. He moved, but the Bears stink, so it's not. I don't know. It's kind of tough to figure all that out.
Yeah, he's in Washington. He's in Washington.
So I didn't. Oh, Washington. Sorry. So I didn't look this up, but I'm pretty sure. I would like to see another team that has started more different combinations of offensive line than we have. Right. So that's where it starts. Right. So that's why we lost this game. I mean, on defense, I thought it was hilarious that it's Eckler out of the backfield. It's Everett getting those two crucial catches, and Keenan Allen being a beast. Like Keenan Allen, like, dude, there's nothing you can do to stop what Keenan Allen did. Those catches were unbelievable.
Yeah.
We had some good defensive plays on him, but the offense is so bad. I did like how Xavier Gibson got in on it. Did they talk about X a little bit when he's getting on the offense, or not really?
A little bit, but nothing crazy.
Those were huge for me, man, because Randall Cobb was a healthy scratch.
Yep.
Very big. I hope he gets a little bit more involved, so that's good. Lazard, I don't know. Okay, I wish I took a picture. I know they didn't show it on the sidelines because I didn't see it anywhere. When the defense is on, Greg, he looks like Patrick Ewing on the sideline with his knees, dude. He has this big, it looks like brown construction paper, like wrapped up around just ice.
Yeah.
When I looked at him, I thought that he was out. Because it was like after one of the fumbles or something. So I thought, oh, he's just going to blame it on the knees, out, whatever. And he just rips it off and then runs back in. I'm like, all right. So he's obviously dealing with an injury. He obviously stinks without Aaron Rodgers. It just is what it is. And at this point, Greg, my question to you is, what are the Jets going to do a wide receiver too? What are we going to do?
Draft someone?
No, right now. The season's not over. Right now. We got Vegas coming up next week. We saw what the very, very bad Chargers defense did to us. We got Max Crosby coming into town. Like, listen, you want to complain about the offensive line? Great. We might have Dwayne Brown at left tackle. We could switch Becton to right. We could have Mitchell at right guard, bench Billy Turner, Tippmann at center, Tomlinson at left guard. Sounds good. That's the best five we got. Salah lies a lot. The one thing he's not lying about, he does want the best five on the offensive line. I think that's the best five. We have to stop Max Crosby.
Yeah, real quick, you did say something though. You said that like Allen Lazard isn't good without Aaron Rodgers. I just had to look it up real quick because when was Allen Lazard good with Aaron Rodgers? He's never had 800 yards receiving. The most he's ever had is 8 touchdowns one time. Other than that, he gets three or four touchdowns a season. He gets 300 or 400 yards a season on average. Like his season totals are 400, 450, 513, 788, and then this year 275. Like he's on pace for a normal season. Like this is who Allen Lazard is. People must have not had him in Dynasty and Fantasy like I have. Like he gets hurt and he does okay, but he's not like this. He was the number 2 to Devonta Adams. Like he's not like this like world beater wide receiver. My problem is that I think the drop balls are just kind of new. Like I don't remember him dropping like play after play. And the penalties.
The penalties on Allen Lazard are unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, like you just can't. It just literally can't happen. So, yeah, I don't know what to do with the number 2 wide receiver. Like I think the offensive line, like we're gonna put out whoever we can put out. To your point, I would switch back Billy Turner and Max Mitchell because that seemed to work against the Giants where it didn't work well against the Chargers. We have to figure out something for Crosby. I don't know what the answer is for Crosby because he's going to be in every single play. And he's like, the problem now is like these defensive teams are like licking their chops. Like if you're watching the plays too, like, I don't know how many, like what it's like in the stadium and stuff. Like, dude, they're just dropping 8 defenders and rushing 4 because they know Joey Bosa is going to be able to beat Billy Turner. Like Billy Turner gave up 10 pressures like last night. Like, some good tremendous offensive linemen don't give up 10 pressures all season. He did it one game. So like the playbook is out on how to beat the Jets. Like there's graphics out there like people were tweeting it out. Like Spyro Kush I think had it today. It was just like the 4 defensive linemen for the Chargers all attacking Zach Wilson, and all of the Jets offensive linemen are turning around and looking at him like
the screenshots are classic.
Yeah, and like that's gonna happen. Like the fumbles are gonna happen. Like I don't know. like, I'm not trying to apologize for Zach Wilson fumbling the ball 3 times because it can't happen, but, like, he's going to fumble the ball against
No, he can't.
the Raiders.
He
It's
can't.
gonna happen.
No,
He
he can't.
has people in his lap every time. John, he was pressured every
Doesn't
3
matter.
plays.
Doesn't matter. Corral the ball. And Greg, you know what else pisses me off about Zach Wilson? When it's 4th and 27 again, dude, throw the damn ball. Close your eyes and throw the ball. Just throw it.
That's what I said again. That's what I said after the Dallas game. You said no. So
4th down. 4th down.
4th down. Okay.
You throw the ball. It's like the second consecutive game. He like some guy was fighting with me in the in the minute left in the Giants game because Zach did that. He does it again, dude.
Yeah.
If it's 4th down, you just throw it, dude. What? Just close your eyes and swing your arm. Like I don't know what else to tell you. You have to. It's so bad to take that sack, dude. It's so bad. Yeah. It's a reverse punt. I don't know. I don't know how to.
Yeah, I don't know what
explain
it's called, but it is a reverse punt.
It's so bad. All right.
Yeah.
Greg, like, is the season over?
No.
Is the season over?
No.
Okay, so we're 4-4.
It was the same. It was what we all knew going into it: 65% chance to make the playoffs if we won, and a 35% chance to make the playoffs if we lost. We saw a 35% chance to make the playoffs, and what I think that I don't know. The Bills' schedule is tough. The Miami Dolphins' schedule is tough. Like we got our schedule, our tough schedule out early. We all knew it going to the season. Those first 6 games, I heard all August, all July, those first 6 games. We came out of those first 6 games 3-3. Going into this 3-game stretch of the Giants, Chargers, and Raiders, I think we all would take 2-1. I don't think the sky is falling. Anyone that was out here, I thought we were going 3-0. I thought that was wildly optimistic and unbelievable, but that's how it's feeling after an Eagles win. If you truly thought we were going to just sweep everyone, to your point, and go on a 6-game winning streak going up against the Miami Dolphins on Black Friday, you're out of your fucking mind with this team. It's not happening. A team that doesn't score touchdowns is not going to win 6 games in a row in the NFL. We're going to lose, but it's going to be ugly, and we're going to get it done. It's a Big Ten football game. We've been saying it since the minute Aaron Rodgers went down. It's Big Ten football. This is what happens in Big Ten football sometimes. Sometimes Iowa loses by 20, and they only kick 2 field goals. It happens. Watch Northwestern this past weekend in Wrigley.
All right, so I'll stop you. Okay, so I agree with you. Bills, tough schedule. Dolphins, the next 4. Raiders, Jets, Commanders, Titans with a bye because they have a bye right now. So the bye week: Raiders, Jets, Commanders, Titans, and then
I think 2 of those 4 games are tough.
Their last 4, honestly, like if it wasn't for the Jets, if I wasn't a Jets fan, I would say those are all 4 W's.
I don't know, dude. At Jets, I think is tough. I think at Commanders is kind of tough, and then with the Titans, I just don't know what I'm getting from Will Levis yet. So we'll see about that.
And then the last 4, Jets again, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. 3 of those are at home.
I feel like that's tough, man.
The last 4 are kind of tough. Here's what I'm thinking from the Jets' perspective.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, dude. My whole thing with this is like Miami. We've seen it all season with Miami, and I want to hear your thoughts on this real quick before you talk about the Jets' perspective. Is they're just not good against good teams. So like you listed those teams off at the end: the Jets, the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Bills. The Jets, if you whatever you want to say, the Jets aren't a good team. Okay, the Cowboys look pretty good. The Ravens look pretty good. I think by the end of the season, by January 7th, I think the Bills are going to be pretty good. Those are 3 tough teams for Miami to play at the end of the season to win out.
Yeah, so from the Jets' perspective, you win this week. You beat the Raiders. You have to beat the Raiders. You beat the Raiders. You have to. It's a must win. You beat the Raiders, and you're staring at the Bills. Want revenge in Orchard. I'm so glad that we're on the road. I'm sick of being home. I don't want to be home. The Morstead thing, we hyped it up all week. He got all the New York media attention. We even gave him the pregame. Second punt of the game goes to the house. Yeah. Like, go away. Go, Zach Wilson, go on the road. Like, everyone, like Alan Lazard, go on the road. CJ Uzomah, go on the road. Just everyone go on the road. I'm good with that. We got to win this week, 5-4, staring at the Bills and Dolphins. Even if you split that, Greg, even if we split the Bills and then we beat the Dolphins on Black Friday, because that'll be like the home and home. We'll end up splitting them later, right?
Yep.
6-5. It's pretty nice coming home for a nice easy stretch.
Yeah, it was 6-5 with the Falcons and the Texans coming up. Like, I'll take that.
You could even lose to the Falcons because NFC beat the Texans, still above 500, hold that tiebreaker. We're still sitting pretty. We might even be atop of the division right there.
Yeah,
honestly, because the Bills are gonna the Dolphins. You said if they lose to the Commanders, like you said, we're right there, and they didn't get to their tough last 4 games. But you were mentioning something. Oh, go ahead.
No, just even if we beat the Falcons, there, to your point, we're 6-5 going to those 2 games. That leaves us at 8-5, and then we're at the Dolphins. That's the game for the division. Then that's December 17th or December 17th.
Yeah,
that's it. So yeah, dude, this whole the sky is falling stuff. It sucks because the offense has been inept for 20 years. And it's tough to deal with as a fan. We had one season with Fitzmagic, and I'll forever remember it. It was incredible to watch offense be played on a Jets football field.
Half a season of Favre.
Oh, yeah. We had 7 or 8 weeks of Favre, and that's it. That's all we've had in 20 years.
We had 2 Sanchez playoff games. Played amazing. He played amazing,
and the offense was good in those games.
Yeah, he played amazing in those playoff games. He didn't get us there. But he played great in the game.
Again, we were in high school and college in those games. Like we were, it hasn't been anything in a long time. So
I'm just trying to. You could pinpoint the literal games.
Yeah,
where we had good offense.
Exactly. There's been like in our lifetime, there's been like 10 offensive games where
Fitzmagic that fizzed out right
Yeah.
before the season ended, so we don't make the playoffs, so we hold the streak.
Which, if you're a real NFL team, you hope to have like 10 good offensive games in a season. Never mind 20-year span. So that's where it gets frustrating. That's where I can see it's like, get Zach Wilson out of here, get Robert Saleh out of here, get Nate Hackett out of here. We got to change something up. We got to figure something out. I get it, especially with the expectations going into the season. But dude, this team is so young. Again, I talked about it 2 weeks ago. It was making me crack up so much. I can't stop talking about it. Like Zach Wilson's like the veteran presence on this offense is insane to think about. It's not where we want it to be. I don't know if I blame Joe Douglas for not having a veteran quarterback to back up Aaron Rodgers because I don't think anyone could have saw this coming. And I think we're riding it out. Whatever happens this season. I don't think the sky is falling. I think we're all getting better. This was a step backwards, but we're gonna take a step forward next week against the Raiders.
I definitely agree with your last point. We're definitely gonna take a step forward. But I don't even know who's the veteran that we're supposed to sign. Again, we went through it. I don't know. Like if Carr was killing it right now, people would be freaking out. I know. I totally understand. If Jimmy Garoppolo was good, people would be going nuts. But we can't even hang on to that. Like there's nobody. We got Simeon. He is the veteran.
Yeah, like that's my thing. Like someone was talking about today, and I agree with them. Like, are there 10 good quarterbacks in the NFL right now?
Yes.
Are there?
Name them. I'm gonna name them right now up top. We got Josh Allen.
He's not good. Josh Allen is not a good quarterback right now. He turns the ball over 3 times a game.
You're not taking him over Zach Wilson?
I'm not saying over Zach Wilson. I'm just saying, are there 10 good quarterbacks? Like if you had this quarterback, you're like, oh yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. Right now, if Josh Allen is on this team, I'm not like, oh yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. Yes, we're much better. Patrick Mahomes, sure.
All right, but this is making sure we're okay in the head.
Patrick Mahomes, sure.
Joe Burrow?
Yes.
Let's go NFC.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
Back to AFC. Herbert? Even after yesterday. He played top 5 defense. Top 3. Maybe best in the NFL.
Yeah, and they were dropping some balls on him. Like Eckler was dropping some balls on him. Stuff. The tight ends were, not making great plays. So okay, maybe Herbert. Sure, that's 4.
That's 4. All right, now I have to.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Tua?
No, Tua. No, he can't beat a above 500 team.
Lamar Jackson.
Yes,
5.
Lamar Jackson. That's the one I was waiting for. That's 5.
Okay, Trevor Lawrence. 6. Come on.
Okay, I'll give it. That's a borderline one. I don't know if I get Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl, but okay.
I mean, Jets have Trevor Lawrence. We're going to the Super Bowl.
And that's what I said from the moment we won that game against the Rams, John. I'll never let anyone forget it.
I would say that pretty much wraps up the elite quarterbacks. Do I have to say Jared Goff?
Maybe Jared Goff. Maybe Jared
You
Goff.
have
But
to,
are you
right?
like jumping up and down like, oh yeah, like the Detroit Lions are going to the Super Bowl right now?
No, I'll never. No, I think they're gonna crash.
Right.
But I'm saying he has the numbers, so I guess we have to say Jared Goff. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's it.
7?
Yeah,
There's 7 good quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Like it's
yeah.
tough.
You gotta throw Josh Allen there.
It's tough. I'm not throwing Josh Allen. That's not even as a Jets fan, dude. He stinks this season. He turns the ball over so much.
All right, all right. Well,
Even if we do, that's 8.
yeah, that's 8. Let's take 8.
And
All
we're
right.
we're Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, little borderline stuff.
All right, so stay tuned for the Friday preview episode of the Raiders
Yes.
Sunday Night Football game. Well, I want to discuss like a couple things. Maybe next episode, like the streak, the like how the sarcastic cheer from the crowd. I hope that was captured on TV when we finally broke the rough in the passer streak. That
Finally
was
did it.
hilarious.
Finally did it in and it had absolutely zero impact on the football game.
Yeah, because we fumbled the next play, Greg.
Yes.
That has a
And
big impact on the game.
when
Because
it
we fumbled. And then there was out. And he still counted. It's insane. It's
It
not.
is.
Oh man, so such a frustrating game. Last thing, Ruckert needs to move up in the depth chart. I'm done. I'm done with the Tibbs like attitude, and I'll say it. The coach Tibbs from the Knicks. I'm done with that attitude here. You got to earn your spot. Last note, and Greg, this is like a throwback. Like if you're listening to this podcast, literally from our inception. And if you are, shout out to you, especially during our draft coverage. Jets just made an interesting signing to their practice squad. Did you see who it was?
Perion Winfrey.
Perion Winfrey, the nose tackle from Oklahoma. We've been talking about that guy for so long, trying to draft him. Mad that he wasn't on our team. Finally gets on our team, Greg. Perion Winfrey. Let's go. Jefferson played well last week.
Could be coming for Michael Clemens' spot. Michael Clemens supposed to move into interior defensive lineman this year, so we have so many edge guys. And I mean, he's just gaff after gaff.
His shtick is done with me. I'm over it. Honestly. You know, when the charm goes away, Greg. She's no longer charming, bro. Like
no,
you either got it or you don't. Yeah, you got it or you don't. Like you got to start making decisions now. Like
we're not a pickup. We're not like again, like I don't know how many times I need to remind people here. Like, this is Big Ten football. Like we're not a pick up, a fumble, and run with it type of team right now. Michael Clemens, anyone else on the defense that thinks we might be. We're a fall the ball and hope to God we kick a field goal type defense, right? Our team right now. Like you got to calm down, boys.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh,
because the offense is so bad.
That fumble though. You see who caused that fumble?
Was it Huff?
Mr. 99 himself.
Willie. Huff was a beast yesterday. Huff was a beast. I got to rewatch this game. Yeah, I mean, listen, the interesting thing is, was it Sauce that said it yesterday? I forgot who said it. When the defense sucks, all you're thinking about is I have to score. Like the defense has to score. So like you don't want to get the ball because you're like, dude, if I get this ball right now, we're not gonna score. Like he's like, not only do I need to get the ball, I have to run and get 6 in order for us to put points up on the board, or at least get 30 yards to start off in plus territory. Like that's how they feel, right? Because they're so frustrated from day to day. We got 8 touchdowns on the season. One of them, people will say, was handed to us by the Eagles, right? So we were 7. Like it's tough. One of them was in 24 seconds. Tough. You know what I mean? Like sorry, that was a field goal. But like tough, man. That's like it's not what you want. But I guess going forward, it's important to recognize Jets suck in the first quarter, egregiously bad. Suck in the second quarter, but not as bad as the first. Like overall bad in the first half, but really, really, really bad in the first quarter.
It's crazy.
But unbelievably good in the second half. Like unbelievably good, both on defense and in perspective on offense. Like from the crap they put on in the first half, they are significantly better in the second half. It's just overall, it's so bad, right? It comes out to 22% on third down. That's how bad it is. Worse than 40 years. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, and I don't know how to fix it. Like I said in my rant earlier, like I don't know what happens. I don't know why when Mike White walks in to the same offense and the same system and the same
Why it
team, all of a
changes.
sudden there's a spark and he throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't know how Josh Dobbs shows up, doesn't know anyone in the building, doesn't know any of the plays,
There's no
and it
cadence.
goes out there and wins a game. I don't know how that happens.
I don't know how I keep showing up to football games, Greg, and it keeps becoming 17-3 at the end of the half.
Yeah, whoever you and anyone else that are going and sitting in these games, like spending the amount of money and the amount of time, are fans on another level. Like, I love the Jets. I love talking about it with you guys. I love just watching the games, obviously, but to go there and spend that amount of time there, did not get back until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning from that game after watching 2 field goals be the only offense scored in the entire 4 quarters. I don't know how you do it.
Doesn't sound good when you say it out loud. Doesn't sound
Yeah,
good.
like I was at a family event in Chicago this past week, and I met someone who was like in their like late 70s, early 80s, and her and her husband have been to like every Nebraska game,
Oh my God.
road and home game for like the last like 30 years.
That's unreal.
That's what they've done in their old age and their retirement.
That sounds like pain. Actual pain.
Yeah. It makes me think of you. It makes me think of these Jets fans out here.
But
Going to these
listen,
games, going to
I'll
MetLife.
give you my irrational side. I would be so upset if I missed that game and we won, because we would be 5-4, 5-3, sitting on top of the division, off Monday Night Football, like staring at Sunday Night Football, like ready to go, and then we have Bills and like 4-game winning streak.
Yeah.
MetLife's about to go nuts. There's gonna be no Chargers fans in there. Like, I would have been so upset if I missed that, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's why I was there. Like, yeah, that's the best. That's the best way I could put it. Like, if I wasn't at that Bills game, I would have been so pissed. Like, if I wasn't at that Giants game, I would have been so mad.
Yep.
Like, I am kind of upset I wasn't at the Eagles game. I just couldn't make it. You know what I mean? Like, because like those are the big moments. That's why it's all worth it. Like,
Yeah,
showing up.
they're so hard and they're so few and far in between. It's crazy.
Like, I switch it up. Like, I Zion only was healthy one time in the Garden. I was there for that game. I would have been so mad if I missed that game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to Wimby tomorrow. Hopefully he makes it through practice and he's healthy. And I see him. And who knows if he's ever going to make it back? We only see him once a year. So, we'll see if he's healthy next year. So that's why. And also, like, shout out to my section. Shout out to 117. It chilled the guys in front of me. Like, we were hanging out the whole game. Guys behind me, like, clearly they're season ticket holders. They're there. They all know each other. We're all hanging out, having a good time, making fun of the people getting kicked out. It's a good atmosphere, man. It's nothing like it.
It looks like an incredible time.
There's nothing like it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But it just again, it's such a result-based business, such a result-based day, including my emotions, our feelings. Like, think about it, Greg. We lived it. Like, okay, like we'll go off on this. Like, it's so frustrating for me when people are Monday morning quarterback, for lack of a better word, with everything, right? It's like, oh, Randall, he sucks, and then he has an amazing game. Oh, Randall's amazing. RJ Barrett, he sucks, and then Zach Wilson, he sucks, and then he has one good game. Oh, he's amazing. He's Sauce Gardner gives up a big play. He sucks. Gets a pick six. He's amazing. Everything is so results based, right? Like, game to game, play by play. In the Giants game, it was as if the game ended, everything came out, and then you could just like pause it. You're like, but what if like that one thing just changed? And but it didn't. If it didn't change, so you're thinking in fantasy land. So everything you say is irrelevant. Whatever I say is absolutely right now because the result is ended, and everything I say is cemented. You know what I mean? Zach Wilson sucks. Tommy DeVito's fine. Like, like we could just have this whole conversation. But because the game changed in the last second, it was Zach Wilson's good, Jets are great, Giants is done. Like, and it was over. So like that moment was very, like, I don't even know what the word is, like, special for me, because I was able to finally experience that, like, change, right? Because if we won yesterday, it's the Jets, who cares? This is the Rex Grossman Bears, Jets, who cares? The Jets are amazing. Now it's fire everyone, right? So let's just breathe, right? Inhale, exhale. Jets Nation, we're fine. If we don't beat the Raiders, we're not fine. However, the world's not going to be over if you somehow lose to the Raiders, beat the Bills and Dolphins, right? So
Yep.
like again, like we're going to be in panic mode if we lose to the Raiders, but it's not going to be over yet, in my opinion. It's over if you lose the next 3 games. Jets going a 3-game losing streak, it's over. And Greg, why I'm scared of that and why I'll say that, and if you're listening here, shout out to you. So I don't feel terrible about putting this in the abyss. It's late in the game here. 45 minutes in. Jets start. You talked about how the Jets started and ended the first couple games. They started 1-3. You know how we always like to talk about quarters of the season. They started 1-3 and then they went 3-1. You can't be streaking like that, all right? Because if we go on a 3-game losing streak here, the season is over. If we go on a 3-game winning streak here, Jets are going to win the division. So big 3-game swing here, and they've been streaky. So I'm hoping it's a trend where we kind of bucket a little bit and like go on the 3-game win streak instead of a 3-game losing streak, as it should be right now, right? Like based on the trend. So we'll see. Catch you on a little bit of extended recap. We had the day extra, a little bit of a Raiders preview in here too, right? Like we're gonna see the injury reports. We'll see, the Raiders smoking cigars. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. All right, like Aiden O'Connell versus the Jets defense. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna talk about it all, but that's a little preview, little tease. Knicks coming, Jets coming, etc. Period. YouTube. Greg, any last words?
No, I think your point towards the end there, I liked it a lot. That's why you gotta watch the tape, watch the film, make a take, squat on it, stay with it, stick with it. Zach Wilson, not that bad. Julius Randle sucks. Get him out of here. I've seen enough. 2 years ago, I stopped watching the Knicks because of him. I need him out of here so I can start watching the Knicks again, please.
Yeah, I'm so happy you mentioned that. Last note, promise. It was so cool, Greg. I was in MetLife Stadium. My friend had different service, had actual service on his phone. It was spotty, but it was amazing. Pulled out the Knicks game. So I'm sitting in MetLife watching the Knicks game, like talking trash about the Knicks, and the guys behind me were all Jets fans, but he's like, oh, the Clippers are going to smack you. I'm like, we should be favored in this game. They're like favorites, like laughing at me. I was like, it's Harden's first game. Like we should definitely be favored, and we end up smoking them in the fourth quarter. Like I'm watching the Jets play in front of my face. I'm watching the Knicks on my phone in between plays. And I'm talking trash. Like it was so good. Oh, like that moment was good. I just needed to win that game. It was about to be a glorious day for me. I had the parlays going. Knicks win, Jets win, Randall 25 points. Like Brees Hall 50 yards. I was rolling, man. I just needed a couple touchdowns with Garrett. Like Brees needed the Knicks to win. Like I was there, man. But it's all right. As Alan Hahn so eloquently said today, the ball, Charlie Brown's just never gonna kick that ball, bro. He's just never gonna kick the ball.
Yep.
All right. See you guys on Friday. Knicks coming, Jets coming, etc. Period. Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We out. I guess let's go Ohio State. Let's go Penn State.
Sure.
Right? Is the Michigan Wolverines the new Houston Astros? People are asking.
Oh.